What's going on, everybody? It is time for a 7-minute late edition of Truth Will Set You Free. I hope everybody is having a fantastic week. We've got the cast of characters. Suni is only able to make it for a little bit because she is partially on vacation. She'll be, I don't know if she's leaving soon, going soon, whatever she's doing. She might have to head out of here. So we're going to make this quick. We're going to cover some of her topics early, things we're going to talk about on the show. The Trucker Convoy from Canada. Regeneron is no longer EUA. Joe Rogan is under attack after we thought he was untouchable a couple weeks ago. Trump's rally and Charlemagne talking about Trump and Joe Biden, current administration. He talked more about Democrats. We'll talk all about that. We're going to be doing that with Suni at the beginning of the show. We're talking about Trump's reemergence. Is this a just a ploy for Cult 45, or is this actual having wide-based appeal? Lastly, talking about the border, and we've got a video of the feds. If Suni can stay for that. If not, we'll just talk about Trump to start. Anyways, guys, we're about to have Snowmageddon out here in Dallas. Casey, what's up? What are you pointing at me for? You good?
Yeah, you're good.
Mo, did you go to the store today to go shopping?
People are fucking crazy. I just was standing in line and I was just like, if shit were to really hit the fan, like people would not be able to handle it. One day of like below 20 temperatures and people have lost their minds.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I think we're shell-shocked. You and I are both local to Dallas. We're shell-shocked from last year's Freeze-Mageddon, which was like 2 weeks long. And people, even my mother, is like freaking out. It's about, and it's guys, it's, well, let's be honest. It could be a lot worse. Last year was 2 weeks long. We're going to get one really bad day. So guys, do me a favor before we hit the countdown to get started. We are about almost at 60 viewers, which is incredibly low. Do me a favor. Go ahead and share this out there. We got some good topics. We want to get started as soon as possible. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute to get the party started. Texas was down for a week last year. Go ahead and start making comments in the comment box, because we're also going to tell you that some things are changing here at BetheChange, this show, etc., which we're going to tease a little bit and go from there. As Mo said on the bottom, aka Let's Talk Darling, share, and more share. By the way, Suni, I'm supposed to, as long as Snowmageddon isn't that bad and I don't have to leave too early, I'm supposed to have a conversation with Dalton tomorrow, live on his 87 streaming platforms, which I don't know what these kids use. He's like, we stream from Discord. I'm like, you stream from Discord? Isn't that a conversation platform? I don't know. These kids,
but you can stream on there too. It's amazing.
I did not know that. These kids,
you're old. It's all right.
These rabble rousers, I'll tell you.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to get that conversation. Real quick housekeeping, comechangeyourlife.com. I'll be speaking, and I know somebody actually reached out and they actually want to code to it. So comechangeyourlife.com in Kansas City. I'll be speaking there on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, but it is a 3-day event. You could also get it online. So if you go to comechangeyourlife.com, you could buy tickets there where you get food, meals, get to meet everybody. Patch Adams is speaking at the event, the real Patch Adams, not Robin Williams, because as we know, whatever, rest in peace. So there is that. And you can also see it digitally as well. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get the party started. We're at 75 viewers. Keep sharing. Go ahead and do another favor and go ahead and do hashtag Truth Will Set You Free. That'll be the one I'm going to ask for you for. Hashtag Truth Will Set You Free. Let's start the show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode number 85 of Truth Will Set You Free. We're talking Trucker Convoy. We're talking Regeneron, Joe Rogan, Trump's rally, and also him saying he's the 45th and 47th president. Charlemagne the God saying, bring back Trump. We've got some border. We've got some feds. We might even talk about some gay penguins. I don't know. And I'm going to slip this in there real quick. This is what you're going to be seeing next week. Easy's laughing at the gay penguins. There's literally 2 gay penguins that are now raising. real. I don't even fucking know. Whatever.
Oh God.
So as you can see, this is going to be a slightly new graphic. This is what you are going to see from this point forward. This is the announcement we are going to make. So you guys probably will see this in the middle of the night or tomorrow. But BetheChange, as we have it, we've noticed has become a predominantly political network. That doesn't necessarily speak to what BetheChange means. We believe that's a part of it, but ultimately we realize what we talk about is truth and the ability for truth to set you free. That does not mean BetheChange is changing, but you will probably see that the BetheChange page will be Truth Will Set You Free Media from this point forward. BetheChange will be its own page. It might combine with Streetlights Unity Movement page, where it is all positivity, unity messaging, and that is going to be the goal. We want to keep it obvious and separate, positivity, and not that politics can't be positive and then the conversations around them, but we do believe that since we have geared so much of our messaging towards information, politics, and truth, that the brand should fit. Our clothing will be Awake Not Woke, like I'm wearing the Follow the Money shirt. We've got Unveiled Lives Matter. You can find that on awakenotwokestore.com. We've got some new stuff coming out that we will show. There you go. Easy's wearing the hat, the Awake hat. I've got that on as well. Casey's going to show some new shirts that we've got that will probably be kind of fun and in support of what's going on in Canada as well. That's the gist of the startup of the show. I know Suni's got to go pretty soon, so let's get right to it. Just don't be alarmed when you see that this page might be called Truth Will Set You Free in the next couple days. All right, guys. Suni, I'm going to let you lead off. You want to do? Let's talk Trump. Go for it.
Let's talk Trump. So do you want Charlemagne's Trump or do you want Trump? We can go either way.
Well, what direction do you want to start? Because are you?
We can talk about Charlemagne because I think it's extraordinary how we told these people, hey, they're lying. They're not going to do what they say when they get in office, and they're like, no, you're just lying because you're a racist, black, white supremacist, and now you have them saying the same things that we said, which I think is hilarious. He doesn't get a pass because you called me a coon. F you, Charlemagne.
Trump, get this motherfucker out of here.
Hold on, we need to make sure we get all that.
Man, where's Trump? Get this motherfucker out of here. Motherfuckers, they feel like they would rather get it raw. Like, you know what? At least we know where that motherfucker's feels. These motherfuckers is gassing us up, lying to us, promising us shit and didn't deliver. Like, I cannot wait to see, and I'm already watching it. I'm watching Democrats start the campaign. They're already like, Hillary, you gotta go out there and vote. Like, democracy depends on it. I'm like, when y'all gonna start governing like democracy depends on it? No, for real. Man, where's Trump? Man, where's Trump?
That was a good. Where they should turn that. Bryson should use that in something. Man, where is Trump? Man, where is Trump?
Well, first of all, it's not a democracy. I just want to correct him on that. It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. And second, I feel vindicated because I sat back and I'm like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. It's just going to be an I told you so moment. You guys can learn from the asinine reasons for voting the way they did. And now I hope they learn. I hope the Breakfast Club actually becomes more politically aware, like Malcolm X said we should be, and actually vote based on policy and stop regurgitating media nonsense. I'm glad that they're suffering. I got to be honest. I'm kind of glad that they're like, man, you didn't do nothing you promised.
You got to learn. And I mean, there is just nothing good coming out of this presidency. And also, sorry, I keep forgetting to say this. How many people are watching on the backup page? Because once we get to the Regeneron stuff, we're going to have to switch over to the backup page. So I'll go ahead and put the backup page in there. But keep going, Suni, because it also goes into. So my question for you at this point, you see Charlemagne, you feel vindicated. And I agree. I get like it's one of those ones like it didn't even take a year for them to see this shit. Like it didn't even take a year. But we have some opinions on Trump lately. So where are we currently standing? And I know that you also talk a little bit about his rally where to me there was some changes made in his tone, which is good. But again, we can't just jump back on the train when we got kicked off. So go ahead.
Look, Trump is going to forever have that spot in American history where he came and fixed a lot of wrong in the country. He actually exposed a lot. And, he did what he's supposed to do as a president. I don't like when people say we need to be grateful for Trump. And it's like, no, we don't. You got in there. You did your job. But it's what he's done after his presidency that has really gotten me just on, not even on the fence. I'm off the Trump train because he's not moving the way he would usually move. He's not the 2016 Trump, and his rallies are just what are they doing besides? I'm going to make you feel good for an hour and you're going to go back to life and probably not do anything else outside of this. That's there. It's a false sense of it's what it is. It's hopium. It's a false sense of
hopium. I like that. Mo, what did you watch? How much of the last rally did you watch? Because I'm in agreement with Suni to a point, but I do think his tone is changing. But go ahead.
Yeah, I watched about 3/4 of it, I think. I almost got all the way through it, but it was just the same stuff regurgitated over and over and over again. And here's the thing about it. Yes, Trump did great things for us when he was in office, but we as a people were in a totally different place. We were not aware of a lot of things that were going on. He opened our eyes to all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And now we know so much that we're even looking at him like this, right? So he did at least that for us, but now he has to understand we as a people are in a different place. We are expecting more. We are more, hopefully more cautious, right? Of who we're voting for and who we're believing. And we're learning how to look up FEC reports, right? We're learning how to do our due diligence into stories and not just read headlines and just go with that. So he has to realize that.
I'm sorry, Mo, you're not allowed to think for yourself. I don't know if you've been told this yet by a Democrat today, but you are not allowed to do your own research. You must trust everything the government says.
I was on Instagram with A-Rod today. One of the Legit founders, he was like, Suni, you realize that we're always going to be somewhat of a mental slave? And I'm like, nah, why you say that? He's like, white people are free to believe whatever the freak they want. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why you voted left or right. But when you're black and brown, you get kicked out of the club if you vote a Republican. Hell, Democrat for that matter. At some point, you're trading on your people, which is crazy. It just made me think of that when you were like, hey, you're not allowed to think for yourself. Well, technically, we're legit not. We're supposed to just be, I'm going to go wherever you want me to go, which is why I've always felt like the token Negro. Swear to Bob, man. Doesn't matter where you go on the Republican side. I'm the token Negro.
That's actually your name in my contacts on my phone.
Mo, go ahead and finish your thought. I cut you off earlier. I know you were continuing to talk about it.
No.
Sorry.
No, actually, I just saw in here, somebody put a comment. So who's going to show up in the 2024? Here's the thing, guys. We're not saying Trump can't show up. We're not saying we're not going to listen to him. But we have to never stop questioning these people. It just doesn't end. We can't just be like, we love this guy. We're going to sit down, let him run the show. We're going to trust everything that he's doing. We have to get out of that mentality. And that's a good thing, actually. That's a good thing that more people are starting to question even Trump's most loyal supporters. And I am still a supporter of Trump. But I am going harder on him and questioning everything he does. And I think that these rallies have been lackluster. It's the same stuff. He's rubbing everybody's back, talking about all the things that he did. We know everything you did. I want to know what you're going to do to fix the shit show that that we're left with now. That's what I want to know.
Easy, go ahead.
Well, so to tack onto that is, I think one of the things that you saw him do in 2015, 2016 as he was gearing up to become a candidate is he kept everything. I mean, I think you guys can probably remember he would flat out refuse to answer questions when it came to foreign policy, when it came to specific things he would or would not do for diplomacy. And some of the things that, I'm hearing kind of harken back to that a little bit. Now, to say that he's gone too far, I agree with all of that. I'm on board with everything what you guys have said, but I'm wondering if he's reshifting and putting his ear back to the ground and saying what do the people really want, and I think that if we can get the Trump of 2016 to show up in 2024, then it's not as hard of a stretch for me to imagine saying, well, you know what, he is a strong candidate, he is to a long degree the leader of the party. And I think it's very interesting because if you do listen, he is starting to kind of hit that stride where it's like, whoa, like, I said this stuff a few weeks ago and he's completely cut it out of his word diet, right?
So that's my question for everybody based on that. So obviously, and nobody in this group goes harder against the V and the mandates. Like this has been the bane of my existence and what I speak about in the medical world. And the biggest thing when he lost me, and I know that was about when Sunni started really turning tides, and a lot of us did, is when he started talking about how great. Continue talking about how great the V was, and essentially sounded like he was working for Big Pharma. Now he is talking anti-mandate. He's talking pro-truckers convoy. I also do think it's interesting that he is starting to speak about 2022, which he has no bearing on. I do think he's starting to insert that as messaging. He gave kind of the axe to Dan Crenshaw, which we all know has become just a shit show for the Republican Party. And he was a very popular candidate, and Trump just in his own state said right outside of Houston, just gave him the boot. So is he doing this right now because he is the Trump of 2016, or did he realize that talking about pro-V was hurting his polling numbers? Why is he making this shift like this? Which one is it? Do you think it's genuine, or do you think it's for the vote?
For the vote.
I think it's for the vote. He's pandering.
I think he's a full-fledged politician now, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now,
I have the 26-second clip where he's pandering.
Not all politicians are created equal, though, to be clear. Like there is some, like, yes, he's being a politician. At the same time, his lack of politician side is kind of what potentially, quote unquote, lost him the election in 2020. So is there an importance to actually play the card a little bit? Now, and go ahead and play the clip, Sunni, was his talking about the V in the way that he did about how great it was? Because again, I thought that was a political ploy. So was that pandering as well? Was that pandering to those that were like, the V saved my life? And he's like, maybe there's more of those. More people have taken it, so it would make mathematical sense.
I don't know. Yeah. To me, that doesn't make mathematical sense. To me, that's playing to the left, because he can say, it's kind of like good cop, bad cop, right? Hey, I'm for your freedoms. I'm anti-mandate. But then he says, hey, go get this jab because it's amazing. And the left is like, yo, Trump said this. He said it was good, and you guys don't want to get it. Why are you fighting against it? Why are you being rebels? And then you got Trump over here, but I'm for your freedoms. Like, bro, pick a struggle, my guy. Pick a struggle.
I think the talk about the V was merely just to stroke his own ego, right? Because that's what I think it was all about. I think he was like, it went over his head. And he was just like, I need to give myself props, because if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't be here. Well, like I think he's that out of touch sometimes with reality, and he's so kind of full of himself.
I can agree with you on that. Real quick, easy. I think one of the big things, hold your thought, the big things was the fact that the V approval, EUA approval came out 3 days after the election was so big, because I think he was using that as a tool, and then I think how big of a deal that was to come out after hurt him in the election, and the way that he is using it was his way of like, well, I missed the opportunity then. How long should I ride this bandwagon?
And I think that there's an important question that can be posed in this, which is a ton of his followers, people who voted for him that are more, particularly the older group, they went and got this immediately. They were on the train, right? So I'll add that in and saying, maybe it is a pander. Maybe it's I want credit for this because then people will remember me in conjunction with this. But I do think that to some degree, some of the things he was unable to do while he was in during his term may have been because he had no idea how to be a politician. So if he's learned that game and that strategy, there's something to be said if he can take that back and apply it in a way that's beneficial for we the people. But I'm 50-50 on this.
I'm in agreement. So he had COVID, supposedly took a VPAC and Regeneron. Why isn't he promoting that instead of an ineffective prick? I did not know that he was promoting Joe Biden. I did not know that.
No.
Oh, the jab. I didn't know. I thought Joe Biden was an ineffective prick. My bad. Oh, I missed that. Oh, Mariana said follow the money, which is ironically also the shirt that I'm wearing
money.
Right, you can get on awakennetworkstore.com.
$2.5 million contributions that he got at his inauguration. I don't think people should ignore that.
What are you talking about? Yeah, Trump's 2.5 million. I mean, 8 million to Biden, but 2.5 to Trump. And we're going to talk a little bit about Regeneron later, which is no longer EUA. So I think we've cleared the Trump. We've only got you for a couple more minutes.
Let's play this real quick because this is actually really
Sorry,
important.
my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
If these radical, vicious, racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal, I hope we are going to have in this country the biggest protest we have ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Atlanta, and elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt. They're corrupt.
Corrupt. Listen to me, okay? Trump is a freaking thorn in my side, okay? You are campaigning for 2024. You are literally endorsing candidates for 2022. Then you opened your mouth to call prosecutors racist. How the fuck do you know that is beyond me? Then you tell people if they don't get it right, we're going to have another January 6th. Is literally what he just said here. We should have the biggest protest ever. And then you open your mouth to say elections are not free anymore. Come on.
But is he wrong?
On.
But is he wrong?
That's not the point. You
I
cannot.
know. I get it.
No.
But that thought process is what Mo was talking about. That is Trump of 2016 that does not give two shits. And I don't disagree. I just heard Alan West speak this last week, and they talked about the elections and how the importance is really with the local municipalities. There's a video, Dinesh D'Souza, I know he's a little crazy right wing. He has a documentary that's coming out where he tracked all of these ballot harvesters. So I get Trump's frustration, why he brings it back. I think that there is a reason to talk about it for 2022 because it's saying, if you want to win, we have to not just show up, but we have to show the fuck up. I think that there is something to that message.
But there's not, because he told everybody to show the fuck up on January 6th, and they did, and he fucking peaced out.
Exactly.
And now he's talking,
clip.
Right. And now he's talking about, well, if I get nominated, if I'm going to pardon everybody.
Pardon them. We're going to do it the right way, as if you didn't have how many weeks to do it the right way while you were there. This is Trump pandering, okay? And this is when American voters need to stand up and say, what are you going to do? Are you going to be this person that you say you're going to be? Or are you going to get in office and do something else? This is what needs to happen. There's a reason he's not talking about the jab anymore. You know why? Because Americans were like, nobody, you don't shut me up and say, oh, it's just a small group. That's not how it goes down over here. They work for us. Sorry. And what you just said was a freaking oxymoron. Oxymoron. Make this make sense. Either it's not fair and you're going to do something to fix it, or just go tell people to vote and quit talking about all this extra stuff, because this is once again fanning the flames. It's going to create another January 6th, and people are ultimately going to be pissed off and let down.
But is that bad? Is it bad to have? Because I think we're painting this picture on January 6th. We are seeing another January 6th in Canada right now, but they've learned from the lessons of January 6th. Like,
we're talking about Americans, though.
But that came from the people, though. That didn't come from their leaders saying, hey, everybody show up and protest this. The people decided we're going to go do this, right? Versus their leaders saying.
Well, then I don't know if it said it in the Charlemagne video, but one of the things that Charlemagne gets on in his rant, and I don't know if it showed it in that 1 minute clip, is he specifically goes off about midterms. And he is very, 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 very adamant that he wants to see change at midterms. And I think that that's a good indicator that the political shift is so large that I just, one of the things that I'll go back to is this Trump 2016, where he is putting his ear to the ground and going to fulfill what the people want, or is this post-election Trump where he's going to peddle bullcrap in order to try and keep people engaged and interested? There is a lot of if it's consistent over the course of the next year and a half, well, then I think there's something to it. If there's this constant shift to back and forth, it's It's clear.
I just want to know, where does race play in any of this?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't get.
I want to know.
I mean,
he did prosecutors.
Remember, he
talking
doesn't script his. Remember, he doesn't script his stuff. So that could, I mean, that might have been a flub. Like I get that didn't make sense. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? That point, it doesn't make sense to me why he said it. So an interesting thing, and I want to try to. And again, it could be pandering. Could be pandering for those that are like, everybody's against us when we're, we talk racism, and it's all reverse racism. So really quick on Allen West, and then I want to make sure we get into the other, border stuff real quick to have you, Suni. So Allen West was really cool. We are actually going to have Chad Prather on the show, running for Texas governor, as well as Allen West. I talked to his field director, so we'll have both of those guys on, just a separate show on the Truth Will Set You Free network. And it was very interesting to see the two differences of them talk. And I asked a very specific question, because I think this is a question a lot of you guys have, including the people even on the screen. It's like, there's a lot of governors like DeSantis and Abbott that have ended the mandates by executive order. Why are jobs still firing people? Why is it that it's being superseded? Why does it seem like that end to the OSHA mandate didn't mean jack shit? So he explained it, and I'm like, how will you fix that? How can we actually control that and bring the freedom back to the people? And he goes, well, everybody just sees these shiny executive orders, the same that Joe Biden does, the same that Governor Abbott does. It means zero unless there is action in the state Congress. So they actually have to take it and turn it into a law by getting it voted into a law. So all these if people are wondering, and I was wondering the same, I'm like, there's all these mandates saying that these businesses can't do this. How are they still doing it? Well, because there's no law against it. So until there is a law, then it is still but it is open for prosecution if there is illegal firings and different stuff. But it was an interesting point. Lastly, Allen West was awesome, and I do think he's going to give a run for his money to Governor Abbott. The key right now that I learned from this is he talked a lot about how the left is doing it wrong across the country and how we have to protect the state. When I heard Chad Prather talk, he talked about why Abbott is doing it wrong. And they're also speaking at similar events in certain places. So I think they're making sure there's going to be a runoff. It's a really interesting tactic, and it's pretty much a anything but Abbott crew. And it's really fun to watch, and we'll see if it pays off. Anyways, Suni, if we've got you for a minute or two, go ahead and slap up that video of the border. The southern border is a fucking mess. Sorry, Nancy, but the fact that if this was any other president, any other media, this would be the number one story every day after day after day after day. There are people that we know, Kelly and I know, at the southern border that have houses an hour away from the border that are continuously having people every day coming through their property, breaking their fences, getting arrested by border agents, and like having this happen never was like this before. And we've stopped talking about it. This is even a bigger issue. As I've told people, I got to the Detroit airport and I saw a commercial plane drop off a bunch of people into a bus. And I'm like, what is happening? Turns out very not normal. Most likely from the border, being flown to a different state and just being dropped off in the United States of America. How is this happening? Go ahead, play the video.
Shout out to Oscar, by the way. Oscar's the homie. Oscar El Blue. He covers all this shit.
Is this Oscar's video?
I can't tell you who I got it from, but I got it from somebody.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, a lot of this is just...
No, I get it. I just, like I said,
stuff that we don't tell people, because what we don't want to do is attract attention. We don't want the media.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know where we're going when they tell us.
Yeah. Obviously.
I get the whole secrecy and all this, but this is even about my favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
And why? You know why?
You know.
Yeah, I know, but why? Yeah.
Come on.
No, but what's the big secret? Everybody knows it's happening.
You know why? Because if it gets out, the government's betraying the American people. You don't care about it going. Like I said,
I thought it was pretty interesting because, like you said, you have people on the left who will say, well, this is a big thing. What did AOC call it? What was AOC calling the issue? Was she calling it a crisis?
Yeah, she called it a crisis at the border when Trump was in office, and then she called it a situation.
What did she call it? Situation. Thank you.
Yeah.
This just goes to show how this administration has no control of anything going on in this country. It's a free-for-all. They have no clue what's going on at the state level. They're so fixated on COVID and jabbing everybody.
Surge.
That the country is. She called it a surge. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
There's a spill of, sorry, but these people aren't sending their best. Kind of like Trump said, there is going to be violence. They're now giving them the ability to vote in New York.
And Cali.
Bad things are going to come from this.
Which that doesn't just affect local elections. These have huge electorates in the federal elections as well. This is a big deal that you can sway an election with, 10 electoral. I mean, this is a big, not that New York or California is going to be going red anytime soon, because everybody that voted red has gotten the fuck out of there. Or getting out of there. But no, I mean, it's a huge deal. And it's not even that. Like, you'll hear people like Nick Vujicic and different major names in speakers that are switching their tone to political alliances, saying, guys, it's not just affecting voting. Human trafficking and going across the border is a human rights violation. There is children being the R word. There is children being trafficked. There's all these different horrific things happening, and ignoring them. If you're truly this liberal and this empath and empathetic, then this should be something taken care of immediately, yesterday. Yeah. And we're ignoring it as a country. We're ignoring the violence against police. We're ignoring that we're ignoring that the defund the police movement failed miserably, and instead pretending like it didn't happen when it should be a discussion.
Does anybody have I have kind of a broad spectrum understanding how long this has been going on. I went to get on an airplane about 8 months ago at the Ontario airport in Southern California, and the entire airport out the door was full of people who just had a piece of paper, no ID, predominantly weren't speaking English, had usually a backpack and a sack that was either trash bag
I just wanted to play my sound effect
something of that nature.
I gotta dip, y'all. You guys have a good show. I gotta get out of here.
Hey, real quick, hold on, Suni, last thing. Yeah, assessing. So the 45th and the 46th. Sorry, we'll come back to you, Easy, because I forgot about the 45th and the 47th. If anybody didn't see, it was when Trump was golfing. Why do you not like that he did that?
Why do I not like it?
Yeah,
because number one, you keep saying that elections aren't free and fair. So how the hell are you saying you're going to win? Two, it strengthens the Q people. Trump's coming back. All this stuff's going to go down. And three, he's just being super arrogant. Like, bro, sit down, fix the things that are going on in this country, and talk about the stuff that the people want to hear, or don't talk at all. I don't like his arrogance. I really don't. And I like it to an extent to where he uses it for good and he's fighting against the media. But how arrogant he is, and then you get on stage and whine and gripe and cry about election shit. I'm like, bro, shut your old ass up and golf.
I like that he was calling his shot. All right, hit the buzzer.
I gotta go, guys. It was good talking to you. I'm out.
Later, Zuni.
Bye.
Sorry. That's good. Sorry, Easy. Go back. I wanted to ask her that because honestly, I thought that was funny as shit. Like, even though I don't even know how I stand on him, I thought it was brilliant. He's like, they're like the 45th president, like 45th and 47th and 47th. So, anyways.
Well, I just wanted to add to it because I think this video is good evidence of kind of the fly by night deal, right? But I don't know that people realize how much of this is happening right in front of their face as they're going through TSA, right? Like, it is, getting on a plane, you got to have your ID, or if you're a minor, you have to have an escort to get on a plane. What I was seeing a mix of people that were not families. These were groups of people that were clearly coming from similar places. And when I went into the airport to get on a plane, I was coming out here to Salt Lake from Southern California, but there was flights all over the country going out of that airport. And I almost missed my flight because that airport's never that busy that I was anticipating having to stand in a TSA line for an hour. Like, it's a small airport. They do international flights, sure. But it was one of those things where I walked in, and when I saw the line was, down the stairs, around the corner, and back out the door, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to miss my flight. And then as I'm paying attention, the conversations that people are having, predominantly not in English. You're seeing small groups of people together who have literally like, like the bags that look like they maybe came with, that have some clothes in them and a couple of items. But it was something to me where I was looking at it and I was saying, well, how long has this been going on? And maybe I just came in on a day where there was a lot
How
of
long
traffic
ago was
that was
that?
happening. I have to say it was at least 8 months ago. I mean, like this
so it was still during this presidency.
Oh yeah, no, this
This
had
has
to
been
have been
going
like
on since day one of this presidency.
February, March-ish time, right?
Yeah.
Like this was soon after the election was over and the inauguration had happened. Like it was almost within an immediate fashion. And my complaint about it is that we see these, fly by night kind of stuff, but that's such a small picture by comparison to the amount of people that I saw coming through the airport that day. Yeah. Now, whether that's every day, I don't know. I couldn't give you an idea, but it was, for me, I'm sitting there saying, wow, like this is not just a few people. This is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And they seemingly
and they're not all going by air. Some of them are going by bus. So that it's coming on so many different
I was going to say,
it just seemed that airport was an area they had selected for that day to push people through, right?
So I was going to say I had a discussion with a Border Patrol agent here in Texas, and he told me that is the process. So they come through the border. They're offered either a plane ticket or a bus ticket anywhere in the United States. They do not have to have ID. They do not have to have anything. They are escorted through the airport. So I'm not sure if the people you saw in the TSA line are those people, but these people actually get a
there was a ton of extra security, but nobody checking actual It was just TSA opening the gates, and there was just a ton of additional, what looked like to me, border security. Yeah. And where I was living at the time, that would make a lot of sense. They would be there.
So the other thing that they're getting is a card. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been paying attention now that I know about it, but it has a American flag on it. It looks like a Visa prepaid card, and you will see people using it. I've seen it several times now at the grocery store. But yeah, that's what's happening. I mean, this guy told me terrible, terrible things, like to the point where he was physically ill talking about it because of some of the things that he see. I mean, processing 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds who are pregnant, who, have been raped by the people that are taking them over the border. They're without their parents. They're being sold. Okay. He told me his job every morning is to go and fish out children's bodies out of the Rio Grande. Little babies. It's disgusting.
And technically we're enticing it, we're funding it. So those cards, they don't come from, donations. That is a American funded. Our taxpayer dollars are technically going to enticing people to make this trip, whether illegally, all illegally or dangerously, I should say, and causing them to die. It's great. I'm about to do the teaser. We got a couple minutes left where we are going to be on this channel, be on the BetheChange YouTube channel. So we're going to be switching over. We have 20 people still on the regular BetheChange. So if you saw that on your comments, please click the link. It is in there. We're going to switch in about 2 minutes because we're about to wrap up the border and get into Joe Rogan, Trucker Convoy, and Regeneron. Trucker Convoy is another one that's getting touchy to talk about on social media. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's just make sure you guys are switching over. I'm going to watch that number. Do you guys have anything else to say about what's going on at the border in that video?
I'll add one more thing, which is I think I've shared this before on this channel, which is I have had family members who have been touched by this evil thing of trafficking. And the more we allow it to continue to happen, particularly from our southern border, the more it happens in the state and locality near you. Like you could be in the nicest city, in the nicest town, in the nicest place in the country. And I guarantee you will find an underworld that exists that you would never have imagined. And so I just want to, I'll just make an emotional plea and say, think about the border in multiple ways. But one of the most important ways to think about it is the amount of people that are coming over that whether they intend to do harm or not, they're going to get treatment preferentially from people who will give them the odds to survive at life here. and they are typically not the people we want upstanding citizens to associate with, and it just makes it worse for everybody.
Agreed. While we're down to like less than 10 people on that page, which is great. We'll take this little TV timeout to show you some of the new shirts that you guys are gonna like this, and this is very Canada heavy, and we're gonna probably talk about Canada next. So let's see. Bum, bum. I'm gonna pull it up real fast. Let's see. Wait, no, store. Here you go. This is the new one. I think this is very apropos. You guys are gonna like this. So we do have this on the website. Awake for 15% off is the code. So just like the old Just Say No to Drugs, we've got Just Say No to Mandates. This one's very fun. Gotta love this one. We also have, I'm just sharing the screen, so you're probably gonna see it. You see the whole thing moving. I don't know. What else? What are the other ones that we have? We have got the new Awake Not Woke for men. Just Say No to Mandates. We will put this on a ladies shirt as well, hopefully by the end of this night. And then we have got a defund. Let me throw the defund the media one up there because big fan. I know PTP's got one of those. I wear that one all the time. So we designed our own. Let me get back over to this page and back over here. Defund the media. We're probably gonna have, since it's no longer hoodie season. Oh, we don't have that in a black shirt yet, Case. Just so you know. Oh wait, do we?
Defund the media?
Oh yeah, we do. My bad. Scratch that. Pretend like I didn't say anything. I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is. All right, here we go. Last thing I'll show, and then we will remove the stream on YouTube. Here you go. So here's the Defund the Media shirt coming in hot. So there you go. Defund the Media. Simple as that. We're going to do that as a hoodie as well. So these are the new shirts. We've also got the Awake Not Woke and probably adding another one soon. Awake for 15% off. You guys get the gist. All right. I'm going to go ahead and remove the stream. If you guys are still there, how many we got left? We got 7. I'm going to make one last post. If you can see this post in that page, head over. Just say no to mandates. That's funny. Head over to, and then also here's this. Head over to the BTC backup, and we are cutting it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remove.